Chapter 9 The Turning. Freeing from the God and His messengers to those you promised from the partnering. So spread out in the earth 4 months, and know surely you other than escaping the God. And surely the God will humiliate the rejectors. And a calling from the God and His messengers to the mankind, day of the contention, the great. Surely the God frees from the partnering and His messengers. So if you turn, but it better to you, and if you turn away, but know, surely you other than escaping the God, and inform those who reject with punishment grievous. Except those you promise from the partnering, then not they short you a thing, and not they apparent over you anyone, but complete to them their promises, to their terms. Surely the God, He loves the pious. But when cancel the months, the forbidden, but fight the partnering where you find them, and grab them and make difficulty to them, and sit to them every capturing. But if they turn, and they make constant the prayer, and they bring the purity, but passes path to them, surely the God forgives, merciful. And if any one from the partnering asks your holding, but hold him till he hears word of the God, then make him reach his security, that with surety they people not they know. How can it be to the partnering a promise with the God and with His messengers, except those you promise within the mosque, the sanctified? But what they constant to you, but be constant to them. Surely the God, He loves the pious. How? And if they apparent over you, not they rise in you kinship, and not responsibility. They please you with their mouths, and refuse their hearts, and most of them rebellious. They purchase with signs of the God a sum small, but they stop over His path. Surely they, evil what they are, they doing. Not they rise in believers, kinship, and not responsibility, and those, they the transgressors. But if they turn, and they make constant the prayer, and they bring the purity, but your brothers in the way, and we distinguish the signs to people they knowing. And if they break their covenants from after their promise, and they violate in your way, but fight leaders of the rejection, surely they, no covenant to them, maybe they stop. Will not you fight people, breaking their covenants, and they came with outcast of the messenger, and they initiated you first time? Do you fear them? But the God, in truth, that you fear Him, if you be believers. Fight them, He will punish them, the God, with your hands, and He will humiliate them, and He will help you over them, and He will cleanse chests of people believing. and he will take away fury of their hearts, and he turns the God over one he wishes, and the God knowledgeable, wise. Or you think that you will be left, and not what he knows, the God, those who struggle from you, and not they take from other than the God, and not his messengers, and not the believers, a league, and the God aware with what you do. Not is to the partnering that they visit mosques of the God, witnessing over their souls with the rejection. Those shut their deeds, and in the fire they will live perpetually. Surely what he visits, mosques of the God, one who believes with the God, and the day, the later, and makes constant the prayer, and brings the purity, and not he fears except the God, but maybe those that they be from the guided. Do you make slaking of the contention, and visiting the mosque, the sanctified, like one who believes with the God, and the day, the later, and struggles in path of the God? Not they equal with the God, and the God, not he guides the people, the wrongdoing. Those who believe, and they immigrate, and they struggle in path of the God with their wealth, and their souls, greater ranked with the God, and those, they the achievers. He informs them, their Lord, with mercy from him, and happiness, and gardens to them, in them bliss constant, living perpetually in them forever. Surely the God, with him reward great. O you, those who believe, don't you take your fathers and your brothers protectors, if they love the rejection over the faith, and those, they turn to them from you, but those, they the wrongdoers. Say, if be your fathers, and your sons, and your brothers, and your spouses, and your friends, and wealth, you earning her, and business, you fear her decline, and residences, you like them, more loved to you from the God and his messengers, and struggle in his path. But you be waiting till he comes, the God, with his command. And the God, not he guides the people, the rebellious. Already helped you the God in battles many, and day of Hunain, behold, you wondered your excess, but not self-sufficient over you a thing, and she constricted over you the earth with what she expansive. Then you turned away backing. Then sent down the God his calmness over his messenger and over the believers, and sent down forces, not you saw them, and punished those who rejected, and that repaying of the rejectors. Then he turned, the God, from after that over those he wished, and the God forgiving, merciful. O you, those who believe, surely what the partnering, impure, so not they near the mosque, the sanctified, after their year this. And if you fear shortage, but soon he will make you self-sufficient, the God, from his grace, if wishes. Surely the God knowledgeable, wise. Fight those, not they believe, with the God and not with the day, the later, and not they forbid what forbids the God and his messengers, and not they make way, the true, from those brought the book, till they give the payment over hands, and they lowly. And they say, the Jews, Uzair son of the God, and they say, the Christians, the Messiah son of the God. That they're saying with their mouths, they copy saying of those who rejected from before. Fight them the God, surely they deluded. They take their doctors of law and their reverends, lords, from other than the God and the Messiah son of Mary, and not they ordered, except to their serving God one, no God except he. Glory him over what they partner. They want that they snuff out light of the God with their mouths, and he refuses, the God, except that he completes his light, and if hate the rejectors. He the one who sends his messengers with the guidance and way, the true, to his making it apparent over the way, all of it, and if hate the partnering. O you, those who believe, surely many from the doctors of law and the reverends, to their eating wealth of the mankind with the wrong, and they stop over path of the God, and those they treasure the gold and the silver, and not they spend them both in path of the God, but inform them with punishment grievous. A day they burnt over them both in fire of hell, but will cover with them both their fronts and their sides and their backs. This what you treasured to yourselves, but taste what you were, you treasuring. Surely count of the months with the God, 12 months in book of the God. A day created the heavens and the earths, from them 4 forbidden, that the way, the constant. So don't you wrong in them your souls, and fight the partnering enough, like what they fight you enough. And know, surely the God with the pious. Surely what the forgetting adds in the rejection, they make astray with it. Those who reject, they allow it a year, and they forbid it a year, to their stomping term of what forbids the God, but they allow what forbids the God. Beautified to them evil their deeds, and the God, not he guides the people, the rejecting. O you, those who believe, what to you, when said to you, run in path of the God, you heavy to the earth? Are you happy with the life of the world from the hereafter, but not sustenance of the life of the world in the hereafter, except little? Except you run, he will punish you, punishment grievous, and he will change people other than you, and not will you wrong him a thing, and the God over everything powerful. Except you help him, but has helped him the God. Behold, threw him out those who rejected, second of two. Behold, they both in the cave. Behold, he said to his companion, don't you grieve, surely the God with us. So sent down the God his calmness over him, and strengthened him with forces, not you saw them, and made word of those who reject the lowly, and word of the God hear the high, and the God mighty, wise. Run light and heavy, and struggle with your wealth and your souls in path of the God. That to you better to you, if you were, you knowing. If was turning close, and journey even, to their following you, and but far over them the splitting, and soon they will swear with the God, if we capable to our going out with you. They destroy their souls, and the God, he knows surely they to be falsifiers. Passes over the God over you. Why you called to them, till he made clear to you those truthful, and you knew the falsifiers. Not they excuse you, those, they believing with the God, and the day, the later, that they struggle with their wealth and their souls, and the God knowledgeable with the pious. Surely what they excuse you, those, not they believe with the God and the day, the later, and doubt their hearts, but they in their doubt, they turning back and forth. And if they intended the exit, to their preparing to it, preparation, and but hated the God, their coming out, so made them lag, and was said, sit with the sitters. If they went out in you, not they add you, except corruption, and to their weakening between you, they seeking you the trials, and in you listeners to them, and the God knowledgeable with the wrongdoers. Already they sought the trials from before, and they turned to you the commands, till came the truth, and appeared command of the God, and they hated. And from them one, he says, excuse to me, and don't you try me, is not in the trial fallen, and surely hell to be encompassing with the rejectors. If you sent good, it pains them, and if you sent calamity, they say, had we taken our command from before, and they turn away and they rejoice. Say, not it sent us, except what writes the God to us, he our protector, and over the God but they trust, the believers. Say, are you waiting with us, except one of the two good? And we wait with you, that he sends you, the God, with punishment from within him, or with our hands. So you be waiting, surely we with you to be waiting. Say, spend, obeying or hating, not will he accept from you. Surely you you are people rebellious. And not stops them that be accepted from them their spending, except surely they reject with the God and with His messengers, and not they come to the prayer, except and they lazy, and not they spend, except and they hate. So not it make you wonder their wealth, and not their children. Surely what He wants, the God, to His punishing them with them both in the life of the world, and destroying their souls, and they rejecting. And they swear with the God, surely they to be from you, and not they from you, and but surely they people, they separated. If they found sanctuaries, or caves, or entrances, to be revolving to it, and they're rushing away. And from them, those, they slander you in the truths. But if they given from them, they happy. And if not they given from them, when they angry. And if surely they happy, what brings them the God and His messengers, and they say, our account the God, soon He will bring us the God from His grace and His messengers. Surely we to the God inclined. Surely what the truths to the beggars and the poor and the doers over them, and the bringing close of their hearts, and in the captivity, and the burdened, and in path of the God, and on the path. Acceptance from the God, and the God knowledgeable, wise. And from them those, they hurting the prophet, and they say, he ear, say, here's good to you. He believes with the God, and he believes to the believers, and mercy to those who believe from you. And those, they hurting messengers of the God, to them punishment grievous. They swear with the God, to you, to their pleasing you, and the God, and His messengers, in truth that they please Him, if they be believers. Do not they know, surely He, one, He stops the God and His messengers, but surely to Him fire of hell, living perpetually in her, that the humiliation, the great. He warns the hypocrites that she will be sent down over them a chapter. She will inform them with what in their hearts. Say, be mocking, surely the God to be taking out what you warned. And if you ask them to their surely saying, surely what we are, we kidding and we playing, say, are with the God and His signs and His messengers, you are, you mocking. Don't you excuse, have you rejected after your faith? If we pass over a party from you, we will punish a party. With surety they are sinners. The hypocrite men and the hypocrite women, some of them from others, they command with the weirdness, and they stop over the goodness, and they keep tight their hands. They forget the God, so forgets them. Surely the hypocrites, they the rebellious. Promises the God, the hypocrite men, and the hypocrite women, and the rejectors, fire of hell, living perpetually in her. Hear their account, and curses them the God, and to them punishment constant. Like those from before you, they were stronger from you force, and much wealth, and children, but they enjoyed with their creation. But soon you will enjoy with your creation, like what enjoyed those from before you with their creation. And you will vainglory like what they vaingloried. Those shut their deeds in the world and the hereafter, and those, they the losers. Did not it come to them news of those from before them, people of Noah, and Ad, and Thamud, and people of Abraham, and companions of Tiberius, and the woods? Came to them their messengers with the clarities, but not was the God to his wronging them, and but they were their souls, their wronging. And the believing men, and the believing women, some of them protectors of others, they command with the goodness, and they stop over the weirdness, and they make constant the prayer, and they bring the purity, and they obey the God and his messengers. Those, soon he will mercy them, the God. Surely the God mighty, wise. Promises the God, the believing men, and the believing women, gardens flowing from beneath them the rivers, they living perpetually in them, and residence is good, in gardens eternal, and happiness from the God greater, that it the achievement, the great. O you, the prophet, struggle the rejectors and the hypocrites, and be strict over them, and their abode hell, and bad the end. They swear with the God, not they say, and already they said, word of the rejection, and they reject after their submission, and they come with what not their portion, and not they turn away, except that makes themselves sufficient, the God and his messengers, from his grace. But if they turn, it be better to them. And if they turn away, he will punish them, the God, punishment grievous, in the world and the hereafter, and not to them in the earth, from protector and not helper. And from them those who promise the God, if brought us from his grace, to our surely being truthful, and to our surely being from the righteous. But when brought them from his grace, they miserly with it, and they turn away, and they turned. But turns them back hypocrisy in their hearts, to a day they will meet him, with what they deferred, the God, what they promised him, and with what they are, they falsifying. Do not they know, surely the God, he knows their secrets and their meetings, and surely the God knows the unseen. Those, they slander the obedient from the believers in the truths, and those, not they find except their struggle. But they laugh from them, laughs the God from them, and to them punishment grievous. Ask forgiveness to them, or not you ask forgiveness to them. If you ask forgiveness to them 70 times, but not will he forgive the God to them. That with surety they reject with the God and his messengers, and the God, not he guides the people, the rebellious. Happy the opposers with their sitting, opposing messengers of the God, and they hate that they struggle with their wealth and their souls in path of the God. And they say, don't you run in the heat. Say, fire of hell, severer heat, if they were they comprehending. But let them laugh a little, and to their crying much, reaping with what they are, they earning. But if returns you the God to a party from them, but they ask you permission to the going out, but say, not will you go out with me ever, and not will you fight with me, enemies. Surely you were happy with the sitting first time, but sit with the opposers. And don't you pray over any one from them dead, ever. And don't you stand over his grave. Surely they rejected with the God and his messengers, and they died, and they rebellious. And not it make you wonder, their wealth and their children. Surely what he wants, the God, that he punish them with them both in the world, and destroy their souls and their rejectors. And when sent down a chapter that they believe with the God and they struggle with his messengers, they excuse you, those with the reach from them, and they say, leave us, we will be with the sitters. They happy with that they be with the opposers, and shut over their hearts, but they, not they comprehend. But the messenger and those who believe with him, they struggle with their wealth and their souls, and those, to them the good, and those, they the prosperous. Prepares the God to them gardens flowing from beneath them the rivers, they living perpetually in them, that the achievement, the great. And come the excusers from the Arabs, to it be called to them, and sat those, they falsified the God and his messengers. Soon he will send those who reject from them punishment grievous, not over the weak, and not over the sick, and not over those, not they find what they be spending, problem, when they sincere to God and his messengers, not over the beneficent from a path, and the God forgiving, merciful, and not over those, when what they came to you, to your carrying them, you said, not I find what I carry you over it. They turned away, and their eyes running from the tears, grieving, surely not they found what they be spending. Surely what the path over those, they excuse you, and they self-sufficient. They happy with that they be with the opposers, and shuts the God over their hearts. But they, not they know. They excuse to you when you return to them. Say, don't you be excusing. Not we believe to you, has informed us the God from your news. And soon he will see, the God, your deeds, and his messengers. Then you will be turned to knower of the unseen and the witnessed. But he will inform you with what you were you doing. Soon they will swear with the God to you, when you return to them, to your turning over them. But turn away over them, surely they impure, and their abode hell, repaying with what they are, they earning. They swear to you, to your happiness over them. But if you happy over them, but surely the God, not he happy over the people, the rebellious. The Arabs severe rejectors and hypocrites, and a wall, surely not they know limits of what sends down the God over his messenger, and the God knowledgeable, wise. And from the Arabs one, he takes what he spends, a burden, and he waits with you the circles. Over them circles the evil, and the God listens, knowledgeable. And from the Arabs one, he believes with the God and the day, the later, and he takes what he spends, closeness with the God, and prayers of the messengers. Are not surely they closeness to them? Soon he will admit them, the God, in his mercy. Surely the God forgives, merciful. And the overtakers, the first, from the immigrants, and the helpers, and those who followed them with goodness. Happy the God over them, and they happy over him, and prepares to them gardens, flowing beneath them the rivers, they living perpetually in them forever. That the achievement, the great. And from those around you, from the Arabs, hypocrites, and from keepers of the city, turned over the hypocrisy, not you know them, us, we know them. Soon we will punish them twofold. Then they will be turned to punishment great. And others they accept with their crimes. They mixed deeds righteous and others evil. Maybe the God that he turns over them, surely the God forgives, merciful. Take from their wealth truth, cleansing them and purifying them with her, and pray over them, surely your prayer, calmness to them, and the God listens, knowledgeable. Do not they know, surely the God, He accepts the turning over His servants, and He takes the truths, and surely the God, He the turner, the merciful. And say, be doing, but soon He will see, the God, your deeds, and His messengers, and the believers, and soon you will be turned to knower of the unseen and the witnessed, but he will inform you with what you doing. And others expecting to command of the God, of what he punishes them, or of what he turns over them, and the God knowledgeable, wise. And those who take a mosque, wronging and rejecting, and separating between the believers, and capturing to those who ward the God and his messengers from before, and to their surely swearing, if we intend, accept the good, and the God, he witnesses, surely they to be falsifiers. Don't you stand in it ever, to be mosque established over the piety from first day, in truth that you stand in it. In it men, they loving that they purify, and the God, he loves the purifiers. Is but one who establishes his foundation over piety from the God and happiness better, or one who establishes his foundation over edge of cliff, crumbling, but flows with him into fire of hell. And the God, not he guides the people, the wrongdoing, not it declines their foundation, which builds doubt in their hearts, except that cuts their hearts. And the God knowledgeable, wise. Surely the God purchases from the believers their souls and their wealth, with surety to them the garden. They fight in path of the God, but they fight, and they fought. Promise over him true, in the Torah, and the Injil, and the Quran. And one who completes with his promise from the God, but be informed with your trade, which you traded with him, and that, it the achievement, the great. The followers, the servers, the praisers, the floaters, the bowers, the prostrators, the commanders with the goodness, and the stoppers over the weirdness, and the guarders to limits of the God, and inform the believers. Not is to the Prophet and those who believe that they ask forgiveness to the partnering, and if they be with closeness, from after what clarified to them, surely they companions of the fire. And not was asking forgiveness Abraham to his father, except over promises promised them to him. But when clarified to him, surely he, an enemy to God, freed from him. Surely Abraham to be securer, forbearing. And not is the God to his making a stray people after, behold, guides them, till he clarifies to them what they fear. Surely the God with everything knowledgeable. Surely the God, to him kingship of the heavens and the earth. He gives life, and he gives death, and not to you, from other than the God, from protector and not helper. Already turned the God over the prophet, and the immigrants, and the Christians, those who followed him in the difficult. From after what wanted, they blurring hearts, a group from them, then turned over them. Surely he with them compassionate, merciful. And over the three, those they deferred, till when she constricted over them the earth with what she expansive, and constricted over them their souls, and they thought that no sanctuary from the God except to Him, then turned over them to their turning. Surely the God, He the turner, the merciful. O you, those who believe, fear the God and be with the truthful. Notice to keepers of the city and those around them from the Arabs that they dissent over messenger of the God, and not they incline with their souls over his soul, that with surety they, not it comes to them thirst, and not evil, and not shortage in path of the God, and not they battling, they infuriating the rejectors, and not their portion from enemy injury, except written to them with it deed righteous. Surely the God, not He lowers reward of the beneficent. And not they spending small, and not great, and not they cut valleys, except written to them, to His repaying them, the God, good of what they doing. And not are the believers to their running altogether, but why not a number from every group from them a party, to their comprehending in the way, and to their warning their people when they return to them, maybe they be warned. O you, those who believe, fight those they hurt you from the rejectors, and let them find in you strictness, and know surely the God with the pious. And when what sent down a chapter, but from them one, He says, which of you adds it, this, faith? But of what those who believe, but adds them faith, and they rejoice. And of what those in their hearts disease, but adds them abomination to their abomination, and they die, and they rejectors. Or not they see, surely they tested in every year once or twice, then not they turn, and not they surely remember. And when what sent down a chapter, look some of them to others, did He see you from anyone? Then they turn away, turns away the God, their hearts, with surety they people, not they comprehend. Already comes to you messenger from yourselves, mighty over him what you fall, anxious over you, with the believers compassionate, merciful. But if they turn away, but say, my account the God, no God except He, over Him I trust, and He Lord of the throne, the great,